what you're saying. How can you not call yourself a feminist? Because once you come out, the only way to beat these paradigms is awareness. And once you see, and let me tell you, this is what changed me. What changed me is when I saw, for real, what I was doing to my family. And my eyes were open. And I tell you, I'd never be the same. I was free. I was deprogrammed. And it took a while. But I'm trying to tell you how deep this stuff goes. This stuff is so deep, ingrained in you. As a young man, to never let anybody see you cry. Never take, look, I'm in the NFL. I'm knocked out on Monday Night Football. Knocked out on the ground. I get up, go to the sideline, and they're like, you ready to go again? I'm like, yes, sir. When I needed to go to the hospital. And I'm sitting here like, men have died because of this pride. Men have died and not lived a full life because they wouldn't listen to that significant other. Because you know what? And I tell you, I love my wife so much because you are not designed to see your own faults. This is why you have friends. This is why you have parents. This is why you have a wife. This is why you have people who love you, because you don't see your own. This is why you can't be isolated, because other people are made to tell you what you are all about. And I'm telling you, once I saw that and what I was doing, it changed me forever, forever. I get up, go to the sideline, and they're like, you ready to go again? I'm like, yes, sir. When I needed to go to the hospital. And I'm sitting here like, men have died because of this pride. Men have died and not lived a full life because they wouldn't listen to that significant other. Because you know what? And I tell you, I love my wife so much because you are not designed to see your own faults. This is why you have friends. This is why you have parents. This is why you have a wife. This is why you have people who love you, because you don't see your own. This is why you can't be isolated, because other people are made to tell you what you are all about. And I'm telling you, once I saw that and what I was doing, it changed me forever, forever, forever. And I said, I can't, now, it's not enough to talk about it. I am not a motivational speaker. I'm a motivational doer.
You should. I think you should become a motivational speaker.
But I'm a motivational doer. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to tell you why. Because people do too much talking. It's all about the talk. We can sit and talk. We can do it. And a lot of you guys are going to be just like, yeah, we had a great conversation. But nothing changes in your life until there is action. And I decided, and it was like my man brought up earlier, and I'll be honest with you, men are not listening to women telling them to stop. They're not.
You listen to your wife.
No, well, let me tell you something.
Yeah, you just said it. I have it on camera.
Oh, no, I did. But what I'm saying is, that was at my lowest point.
Right.
What happens is, men need to listen to other men.
Amen.
You have to have a man to tell you, yo, you are not right. This attitude you have is not right. And all of a sudden, it starts to hit the deprogramming switch. You know what I mean? You start to hit this thing.
So let me just say that, because I know there's a lot of people want to ask questions, and we could talk forever, but I just wanted to say that I think what you just saw right here a minute ago was what it means to be a man. The vulnerability, the honesty, and to say, I saw in myself I needed to change. You've seen incredible examples up here today of real men, and it has nothing to do with bravado, with control, with power. In fact, it's a redefinition, I think we talked about, of strength. enough power to say, you know what? I saw I was hurting somebody, and I had the courage to change. I told my son, I don't know how to do this. I had the courage to change, and so on and so on. So every man in this room has an incredible example now in front of you. So as you just said, that crack is open. There's all different kinds of ways of being a man, and they never involve controlling a woman or beating a woman or putting a woman down. That's really powerful. And I hope that if we leave here with nothing today, we leave here with remembering that, and not a woman, not somebody who's gay, not somebody who's different. That never results in connection. So I want to open this to questions. I know several people had questions of Terry. And just one other thing, as someone stands up, you have a great quote in there that says, it does not mean you're a boss if you tell people what to do. A boss is when you do what you said you are going to do. We hear a lot about bosses in today's culture. That guy's a boss. He's a boss. And I thought that was a great quote. It's not about telling others what to do or who you are. It's about doing what you say that you're going to do, and about being true to who you are. That's a boss. So do we have any questions? We have a lot of questions. I want to hear some questions from some guys.
Unfortunately, we might not have enough time for questions. I know. One question? I'm going to say
I'm
one
sorry,
question.
that was too long.
Take it up for me,
One
with me
question?
if you have a problem with it. Sorry.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I just wanted to say that, so the kind of television and movie stuff you do, like your Old Spice commercials, a lot of them could be perceived as the symbol of hypermasculinity. And I'm wondering how, and your influence is clearly, I know there's definitely a book following, but your influence definitely is in the media culture. And so I'm wondering how you maybe plan to promote gender equality or break male stereotypes in that culture.
Yeah, by doing what I'm doing right now. Thank you for that question. That's awesome. I make no apologies for being a man. You know, like he was saying, being strong, and I will do Old Spice till I die. I'm just trying to tell you. You know, it's okay. It's all good. You know, but what we're not saying manhood is wrong. Please. Understand, I'm not saying manhood is wrong, but my strength is for hugging my wife and my kids. My strength is for building for my wife and my kids. One of my wife's strengths is to tell me what to build, you know? And then I build what she wants me to build. And she builds whatever she wants to build. And the whole thing is, I operate in my strengths as a man. I know for me, one of my strengths is protecting my family, protecting my loved ones. That's one of my strengths. But I'm telling you, there may be another relationship here where the woman's strength is protecting, okay? I'm not here to put any kind of labels, and this is what I'm saying. I'm stepping out of these paradigms, and I'm saying, be you. Be you. Think for yourself.
One more question. I know, it's just the carpool. One more question.
It was so quick.
It's just one more question.
Anybody? One more?
Anybody?
Anybody?
Anybody have any questions? Come on, I think that was a really good question. Any women have any questions? Okay, go. Right here.
How can we as women then open it up and in a machista culture, my dad is Mexican, so how can we then open that up to reflect our families and help old generations?
She asked a very good question. She said, how can we as women open up this conversation in our homes with her father, with other men? It's hard to open up these conversations. She grew up with a Mexican father, you said, that's kind of macho, and it's scary sometimes to start these conversations, or you think your father might say like, or whatever. So how do we begin to have this conversation go from here to our homes?
You know, that's a really good question. You know, my wife didn't give up on me. She continued, and she continued to give me the love, the support, but also the hard questions. The hard questions, the things that made me think. And, you know, I've seen a lot of women just give up and just decide to go in the shell. And this is what I was saying about being fearless, is that you have to stand up for you. You have to be, even if you're in a misogynist culture and people are tending to treat you wrong and treat you as you are less than, never stand for that. Never stand for it. You ask the hard questions. Ask them what makes you think you can do this and I can't. And that's kind of like a bit of a short circuit on somebody who's in that cult. It's like, they might tell you to be quiet, don't talk to me, you know, that kind of thing. But it's one of those things that over time, it wears down. Now, and to be honest, there's a lot of guys who are like, I'm not putting up with it, I'm out. You see it happen all the time. And I'm here to tell you, as women, you're probably better off. That's just the reality. There are people in my life that I knew I couldn't be around, that I thought were good for me. And then one other time you realize, wait a minute. Like, let me tell you, I'm gonna be real honest right now. My mother just passed away 2 days before Thanksgiving. I write about my mom in the book. She was beaten, knocked out. And I was 14, I was like, Ma, can we please leave? Can we just go? She said, well, we're gonna be broke. I said, I don't care, we're broke now. We could be broke anywhere else. Leave him. She wouldn't do it. She was broke down. And let me tell you something. She never saw herself as worth more, even to the day she died. And it breaks my heart because he was still pretty abusive to this day. And, you know, we have our issues, the whole thing. But I look at that and I see a woman who had all her dreams beaten out of her. And I don't want to see that happen to any woman on earth ever again.
Wow. Well, I know they're gonna, I want to thank Terry Crews for taking time and Rebecca for sharing his pain, his courage, and his strength. And I think this is what we all need, is to see examples of this that are out there doing, that have a voice. It's really important because I think as Jackson and Jerry and Teresa, there's a lot of people in the, quote, you know, trying to gender equity conversation, but we need more men like you to step up and speak out and to bring this conversation so that men can leave here today, go like, wow, I never thought about that, about my cult, about where I belong. And women can go out here and think, wow, I can be fearless. I don't have to take that. He changed, and if I'm worth it, that person will change too. So this is a very powerful conversation. I want to thank Brentwood School for doing this. I want to thank, I'm really proud of all the young women and the young men who stepped up and who came together and understood that this is good for both genders and this is good for everybody, that we continue to do this. And I hope we don't have to wait another year. And I hope you'll come back to the Young Women's Conference
I'm coming back,
and speak.
right?
So go ahead,
Then we can hang out. It'll be all good.